pan out. And that is the benefit of privilege. You can always start again. There's the lesson. You can always start again. And remember that, because I heard there was this guy who said, I hate starting over. I hate learning, which means you will always stay exactly where you are. If you don't like that feeling of being uncomfortable and starting over, you have allowed yourself to stay where you are in a comfortable place simply because of your fear of this discomfort that will come. And there's always discomfort. There's always change in life. There's always something different that we are not familiar with. And because of that, life has changed. It's always changing. The beauty of it is change. And my father would say, life always changes. So regardless of what is happening currently, it will not always be this way. And the beauty of the privilege of the Sendoff is recognizing the beauty in your own personal privilege. And I felt that privilege in a space that, what's up, Stevie, that individuals may not see privilege in. Here's why. The privilege of having friends and family surround you in times of need is a privilege. And it's a privilege because most don't have it. They won't ever experience it. And I felt this, and I saw this, and I embraced this, and I was this on Saturday. Because Saturday was the send-off. And I call it a send-off for a reason. Saturday wasn't a funeral. Saturday was a send-off. It was a send-off. You see, to send someone off means we had such a good time, I'll see you again. To send someone off means there's smiles and there's love and there's hugs and there's laughter. To send someone off is have a good voyage. I'll see you later. And that's the difference between a send-off and a funeral. And when I named this live the privilege of a send-off, it's because imagine your final days, your funeral, and you have your beautiful wife, hair done, red lipstick, there to honor you. You have all your children in the front row, beautiful, crying because of love, crying because of the love that they had for this person. Looking their best, successful in everything that they have chosen to do directly because of you. See, when I'm speaking of this send-off, I'm not speaking of the funeral. I'm truly speaking of something that I didn't know that I would experience at my father's service, which was just Saturday. It is that true feeling of love. It is that true feeling of seeing people who are coming to support when you are no longer there. And Saturday started differently because I'm here with my parents in California, and I was up very early. Thank you, Lalita. And it's okay. I'm telling you about the celebration because it was something completely different than what is envisioned. And continue to like the live. Thank you, Kimberly Britt, for the follow 369. I woke up extra early because I knew this was, my father's funeral. And I did a very deep meditation, and I envisioned just the beauty in the day, the love of the day. I journaled all of my thoughts, and I journaled what I would feel. I journaled the beauty in the day. I journaled the love of the day. I journaled the happiness in the day. I journaled the support in the day. I journaled the abundance of everything that life can give us in this day. And I got up early and I went and got some extra programs for the Sendoff. I'm no longer calling it a funeral because it was a Sendoff, and you're hearing about the Sendoff now. So I was ahead. I was in charge of the programs, and I'll make a YouTube video about this because I made my father's programs on Canva, which was useful, and I used ChatGPT. And I utilize everything we have to make something great. And I took the things about my father, his graduation date and him being in the service and this date and that date, and threw it into ChatGPT and said, create a beautiful, thoughtful, loving tribute for my father. And it did. And then I had the service, his scripture of selection, as well as the thank you. I made the whole program on ChatGPT and Canva. And I believe it would be helpful for others because it's very easy. Either way, I went to print out more programs, because my mom said, this isn't enough. More people are going to come in for your father, which they did. And the person at the printing place said, you're back. I said, yeah, the same thing that I printed yesterday, I would like to print more. She said, okay, let me help you out. And she helped me out. And the day before, I said, this came out great. This is the program for my father. Good evening, TW. Thank you for continuing to like the live. And I said, I'm so proud to be his legacy. This isn't a sadness. And anyone who comes on to my lives, I am the optimal, positive person, because I choose that. And I saw it from my father. Life happens. I get to respond. And I was the one that got to select what individuals will hear. Now, I told my mom, most people don't even have that much to choose from for their obituary or their tribute. They gonna say, I was born, I went to this school, I had this one job that I hated, I was with this person, but we wanted to divorce, and then I died. That's it. I was lucky, and I'm grateful that I had a father that had so much in his life that I had to say, what are the key points that I'm going to highlight? Because he did so much. And this is why, side note, I've kind of copied my dad in that sense. I want a full life. And I have a full life. So I printed out more programs and I said, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I need to go. And she said, you really have a captivating spirit. I can imagine that your father is a great man. I said, he is. Thank you. Gotta go. Grabbed the programs, went on. And it could have been that moment where I could have been upset. Thank you, Extreme, for the follow. Because I went to pick up the programs and they weren't printed out and they had to grab someone else. And I chose to say, everything's working out in my favor. Yes, that's right, TW. Today, everything is working out in my favor. And it was drizzling. I'm in Central California. It was a little drizzle. And I chose to say, today, everything is always working out in my favor. And my sister used me as her assistant. She said, can you go pick up my cashmere turtleneck from the dry cleaners? I said, sure. And when I walked into the dry cleaner, I saw the guy and I said, hey, did we go to high school together? because I remember everybody. And this was someone I went to high school with. And he told me his name. I said, we did. That was great. Okay, I just need to pick up this one thing. And today's a great day. I never once mentioned after this I would be going to my dad's funeral, because too many people hear that and automatically think negative. So I picked up the sweater and I came home. I had done a deep meditation. I visualized the day. I meditated. I got myself ready for the day. And I kept saying, thank you, TW, for sharing the live. Everything in this day is working in my favor. This is the best day of my life, because every day is. And I'm sharing this to share. Do not allow a simple word of a funeral or a death or a sickness or illness to take the joy out of your life. Because there may be something in that that is bringing joy into your life. So as we were getting ready, it was myself, my youngest sister, and my mom. My mom had already picked out her outfits, and I was a former makeup artist. Yeah. So I said, Mom, let me do your makeup. I understand. Yeah, as I said, my father's send-off was Saturday. And this is why I'm sharing this, because there were so many beautiful revelations that I feel that are powerful. So I did my mom's makeup, and then I had to do mine, and I had to get dressed, and I had to iron my dress. And my sister said, I have to leave at a certain time. And as I'm getting ready, I said, you know what? Okay, you guys can go. Because she said, I have to leave. I said, I will get there. I will find a way there. Go ahead. I will find a way there. Because all so often we will allow that discomfort to sweep us away. The feeling of I'm going to my father's funeral, the feeling of someone's rushing me, I gotta leave, the feeling of I do not feel prepared, I don't want to be. No, everything's working out. You go. I'll find my way there. I'll get there. And my father would always teach me that. Take a breath, have some patience, and know everything works out. So my mom and my sister left, and I was finishing up my face. But in the meantime, I kept going and then looking out the kitchen window, and then going and looking out the kitchen window, and then going, because I knew the person across the street, who was my dad's friend, they would watch games together and have their whiskey, whatever they would do. He lived right across the street, and I knew he was coming. So as soon as I saw his garage lift, I grabbed my shoes and I ran across the street into his garage. And I saw him in with the side mirror. He was like, who is this? I said, hey, Ernie, can you give me a ride? He said, of course. I saw someone running into the garage all beautifully made up, and I was wondering, who is this running up to the car? And I saw it was you. Yeah, get in. I'm sharing that to say, I chose to say, I'll find a way there. Instead of getting upset or rushing through and being there and not feeling at my best. I'll find a way, because a way will always be made. So I hopped into the neighbor's car with himself and his wife, and we're making our way to my father's send-off. And while we're in the car, while we're in his Toyota Tacoma, he says, me and your father during St. Patrick's Day, we would always have a hot dog, because my father loved hot dogs. We would always have a beer or two. Yes, that's right, TW. And we would always have a shot of whiskey. And my father's whiskey was called Redbreast. It's a distinct brand. My father loved the good life. He loved good premium liquor. He said, you don't shoot it. You can sip this whiskey, or you can sip We would go to Mexico. Whenever I would go to Mexico, I would go to a small distillery and bring him different bottles of tequila, because good tequila, you just sip it on some ice, maybe with some lime. You don't have to shoot it. Jose Cuervo, sure. But good tequila, you just sip with a little ice. And the neighbor said, so this St. Patrick's Day, I will remember him, and I'll have a hot dog and a beer and a tequila. I said, he'll love that. The whole time I'm in this jovial state because I also feel a sense of beauty for this. Because that outpouring of love, even when we arrived to the church, it was that beauty of, wow, let me turn around. Look at all these people. Lolita, not yet. Not yet. As soon as I speak about things once they are complete, and I will say there's a little not a sense of urgency, but there's a little bit more fire to my flame after this. What's up, MP4 me? So, once I arrive to the church and I see a full parking lot, this is why I named this the privilege of the Sendoff. That's privilege. The privilege for the child to see. Thank you, Denise. I'm a storyteller, girl. This is what my father did. So everything is heightened now. And I will speak about this a lot because I'm here to inspire and motivate. And often I stopped telling people my father passed away, my father died. I started saying, a new king has been crowned. I'm in a new space. Look, someone, I'm talking to a phone on TikTok, and Denise 197397 is saying, I have unmatched storytelling. And that's directly from this person. At this send-off, I look at a full parking lot. At this send-off, as I'm walking in, I see my childhood friends and their parents. Hope! And I turned around and my smile, you see it now, like, wow. They said we wouldn't miss it. And it was all of this love compounded. There was a friend I haven't seen in 10, 15 years who said, of course I would come. Because my father's name is Benny, and they knew how much I loved my father. Everyone knew my father. He was that good guy. They had made me a decal for my car that said, powered by Benny. And thank you, continue to like the live. And so as I walk in, I can't even get into the church because so many people hope, oh, we love your father. Hope there was this time your father did this. Hope there was this time your father did that. Hope we love seeing your family. Hope. And I'm one of 5 girls. And I said, isn't that the American dream? To truly have this send-off where you have your beautiful wife. You have your beautiful girls. You have a church full of people because of just who you were during the course of your life. No one begged you to come. No one's paid you to come. This was surely out of love. This is what my father did. He brought people together. That's what I felt. Of course, there were tears, but there was such a feeling of happiness and joy. There was such a feeling of upliftment. There was such a feeling of, I gotta go support. There was there were so many smiles because of how he led in life and what he gave back. And it was such an uplifting feeling that being on that front row, Yes, tap the screen, being in that front row. Imagining being at that front row at your parents' funeral, your father's funeral, and feeling love and upliftment and support and turning around and seeing all of these people crying, smiling, holding each other. That's real privilege. That's real privilege. Everything from the course of your life comes out then. People could have been fighting and saying, oh, this no good. There wasn't that. And my father is a proud military man. So all of the military guys came in their outfits. And seeing the beauty of what a family is. Now, you know me, I say I'll leave them in the dust. I leave men all over the world. I have. It wasn't until this moment where it all made sense. It all made sense. And even the beauty of the service without your wife having to struggle and having to mortgage the house and the cars. No, I may not be here, but you go on with life. That is privilege. Seeing this outpouring of all of the beautiful things people had to say. That is privilege. And this is why I said that wasn't a funeral, that was a send-off. That was a send-off. That was, you did it. We'll see you later. It was also the beauty, and I shared with my sisters, I said, we did it. We did it. Because all my mom had to do was show up. And I love my sisters. They are my sisters, okay? So I love them from afar, okay? We're all adults. I love them from afar. But as a family, we came together and said, we'll do this, this, and this. So many times this can break families apart. And I said, we did it. We did it. I love you guys. Dad's proud. This is exactly what Dad wanted. We did it. And we also did it because we didn't want that long, drawn-out service. Because a lot of people, I don't know if people have been to black churches. I grew up in a black church. My father at one time was a pastor. He wouldn't do that. But I've been to some of these funerals. They're all day. Okay? And one of my greatest friends from childhood, her family is Armenian, and she was saying, you know, could you watch my daughter? I'm going to Hope's father's service. And he said, well, how long are you going to be gone? She said, well, I don't know. It's a black service. It could be all day, because it could be all day. Yeah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. And we specifically said, this is what we want. Boom, 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 boom. We're done. We don't need to preach anyone into the grave or into heaven. In fact, I want an inspirational message. This isn't an altar call. This is the beauty of a well-lived life, right? We can get this, can you believe, in and out in an hour. In an hour, including taps. So my father always loved that. He always loved the dun, 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 dun. That they did all of that. They folded the flag, presented it to my mom, did the 12-shot salute, all of that. And what was so beautiful was, to me, this is that dream. You live your life to have that. Yes, people are sad, but look what you created. Look at the people that showed up. Look at the service. Look at the ease. Nothing. The sun came out. The message was perfect because the pastor had a personal relationship with my father. And even me building the tribute message, people said, I didn't know your father was a pilot. I said, this is why we travel. This is why I have a love for aviation. Because my father would like to go sit when we lived in Merced, California, and watch planes take off and land. And he would say, that's a Boeing 737, and that's a 727, and that's a... I knew planes since before I could probably talk. But this is all because of that person. And we're all the symbols of someone who came before us. And afterwards, the after service was right in the hall, and it was perfectly done because my father loved a good meal. He don't like cheap liquor or cheap bad food, but it was all perfectly done. And to see all of these people eating good food and they were smiling, they said, "You are Benny's daughter." There was so much love. There were so many smiles. Every time I went to get tea or get a refill of food, someone would grab me and say, "I got to tell you this story about your father." And he loved his kids. He would say, "Yeah, my daughter, she's in this country and she's in that." He loved his kids. He was always talking about this daughter is doing this and this daughter just accomplished this and this daughter. You hear it when people speak. And the beauty of that, because I'm the legacy of that, the beauty of being that legacy, the beauty of being that reflection, the beauty of being in the front row, suited and booted, saying, yeah, and we're going to keep going. And the beauty of what family brings, because family came from all over. People tuned in, all over. And there was so much warmth and smiles and laughing. There was so much happiness. Family I hadn't seen in years, and we talked and we talked and we talked. There was great liquor, there was great medicated pastime stuff, edibles, whatever you need. We had it. We had lovely champagne, and it was all of the family laughing and smiling and feeling love. And then, thank you, George. And seeing that beauty when we were there, and now seeing I'm in that different space. Although I feel like the child, I'm auntie. Cool auntie, but auntie nonetheless. And my sister went around to all the cousins and nieces and nephews. What you want? What you want? What you ordered everyone in and out. I think I don't know, it was probably an order of like 20 people and brought in and out back. And I could see just how the kids' faces were like, I got in and out. And we just laughed and stayed together the whole day and danced and choked. And there wasn't a tear, because my father brought people together. See, Los, I'm telling you how I'm feeling. My father brought people together. There's so much joy and happiness. And it was so much fun. I felt so happy. And this is at my sister's home, because after the service and after eating, we came to my mother's home. And everyone met here, and then we went to someone else's home because my mom just wanted her time. And seeing how everyone helped out and grabbed flowers, and where you going? Oh, okay, we're going to meet you there, and you want me to bring something, and you going to bring something? Okay, I'll bring something. And seeing that beauty. Also, from a man's perspective, this is what you want. You got your beautiful wife of 45 years, your beautiful daughters, everybody's here for you. That is a well-lived life. That's what it's about. I love you too. That's what it's about. I said, oh yeah, this is what I'm doing. Because when hope goes, I'm having this. Some of y'all, as I said, you may have one or two people there, but to feel that love, to feel that support, to have people smiling like, man, there was one time I went fishing with your dad and he told me that. It was magical. And what I remember most, because this was on Saturday, I couldn't stop smiling. I laid my head on the pillow. I could not stop smiling. I felt so full of love, so full. Like my dad was like, yeah, yo, go live life. I'm here. Look what I've built. Look what I've built. Thank you for the TikToks that you sent. Look what I built for you. Thank you for the roses. And that is true privilege. I named this live the privilege of the send-off. That wasn't a funeral. That was a send-off. That was a send-off. A send-off is something different. A send-off is like, I'm sending you off. Go, go, go. Go. I'll see you later. That was a send-off. That's true privilege. Nothing was lost. That was a well-lived life. Your whole family is there. Everyone's there. Look how these people came out for you. Everyone supported you. Everything went smoothly. No one's fighting. That is privilege. How you doing, Maureen? That is privilege. And that's a beautiful privilege. Yes, my mom this is for the rest of our lives for us to deal with the death of my father. And the simple fact of you go on with life. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to have a car wash. This is the United States. A lot of people may have a hard time during that time because how do you cover the costs? How do you, people fight over this. But it was such a beautiful day. It was such a beautiful day. It was so enlightening. It was so powerful. It was a powerful testament in how you live your life is how you leave your life. How you leave your life. From my friends who came and their parents to his loved ones and our family and neighbors and everyone who knew my dad, because I got it from my dad, but they showed up and laughed and smiled. No one had a sad story. I had not had an experience like that because for me, it was a beautiful sense of security and upliftment. It was really such a beautiful experience of love. That's what my dad was. It wasn't about color. Love is colorless. You got to see past that. Human beings are human beings. We're all doing the best we can. We show up. Sometimes we mess up. Yeah, I can forgive you for that. We all trying to figure it out. But love is love. And showing up for people and leaving people with good memories and good times. Helping people when you can. That's what it was about. I'm telling you, it was such a good feeling. And good feeling comes with good food, good alcohol, good medicated, whatever you would like to use. But all of that was there. We met at my sister's home. This is the second home that my sister has built from a plan. And I said, that's directly linked to my dad. The plans my dad had and what he said we could do. I'm unlimited in what I can do. This is why. I was never said you could only do that. No, you can do whatever you see yourself doing, Hope. Just believe in it and do it. And being in my sister's home and seeing my nieces and my nephews and my cousins and we're laughing. No one has a sad story and we're dancing and it just was so invigorating. I felt reborn almost. Because as I say, I'm in a new stage now. And I wrote down, thank you, TW, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I wrote that it was a send-off. Not a goodbye, but I'll see you later. I got you. A feeling of being so high, so happy, you can't even stop smiling. That's how I was. And I'm not really out, but we were out till 10, 11 at my sister's house. Just laughing and being with family. I am unlimited in what I can do. I've been told that my entire life. I've seen it with my father. A skin color can't stop me from doing anything. My gender can't stop me from doing anything. Educational level won't ever stop me from doing anything. It's the sheer power of me, this soul. You're seeing the casing, but it's the soul. That's what I took from my father. That's what I took from my father. And even in that day, just how happy everyone was and the stories they were sharing. And also saying, like, look at this beautiful family that this man had. All of that. That is the sign of the privilege of a well-lived life. So now when I speak, my words have even more of a weight. Because of the beauty of what's in front of me and who else is working for me. Because I do believe I have another angel, another helper, another person in a different realm that is saying, Hope, go. Hope, I'm here for you. I'm fantastic, Jessica. Nice to see you. I haven't read any of your messages on the live screen in a while. So even with my father's Sendoff, it was beautiful. And I look beautiful too. I went to my favorite thrift store and found the most perfect dress with the most perfect earrings. And we were all suited and booted. My sister had her funeral wig on, which was beautiful. I was calling her the Duchess because she had one of those hats that you like tap on. I mean, I have to say, I said, look at us. We look beautiful. We are now there. And how beautiful this is. How inspiring this is. How inspiring. I'm talking about my father's Sendoff that was on Saturday. And how beautiful, even in reading my father's tribute, because the words you select have a different feeling. I didn't say my father's obituary. I said it's his tribute. His tribute. And thank you. Thank you. And even in that, I feel it's grief, so it always changes. However, I'm so inspired. When I say my father truly accomplished what he came to do, that's why I'm inspired. I'm so inspired. It was a well-lived life. It was of natural causes. You were 76 and you have this beautiful family and you have all of this. This isn't a sad time other than missing that physical aspect of the person. And I spoke at the service and I said, I'm proud to be the legacy of my father. I'm proud to be this legacy of my father. I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to speak. I'm proud to, and I shared a story because they said any family wants to speak, come and speak. And so everyone looked at me and one of my sisters said, Hope, you go first. And I looked at her and I said, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to talk after me? But okay. What's up, VLS? Okay, sure. I'll be the opening speaker. And I shared the story of my father loved baseball. On his bucket list was to go to every baseball stadium in the world. Now, he accomplished almost all of them. He didn't go to the one, I think, in Toronto. There's one in Canada. There's a few in Japan. But I believe, with the exception of, like, I'll say one in the U.S., he's been to every baseball stadium in the U.S., Puerto Rico. Yeah. And I shared with him, we went to, whenever we would go to any baseball games, because we went to a White Sox game in Chicago, we went to the Yankees game in New York, we would go to the Cardinals games in St. Louis, we would go to the A's games, the Dodgers games, because that's my dad's team, the Oakland A's games, the Anaheim Angel games. We would always go to baseball games. And my father loved a hot dog with extra onions. He would always pile onions onto his hot dog. And then he would talk to me like, oh, Dad, you got to back up. You had that hot dog with extra onion. You got to back up, Dad. You got onion breath. And everyone at the service laughed. And I said, you see how I just made you laugh? That's how my father made us feel. He could always bring a smile. He would always bring laughter and joy. So in the sadness, remember to laugh. Remember those good times. Because I always do. That's why I'm always smiling and laughing. Okay? That is a part of me. I'm from that. That is a legacy. That is me. I'm proud of that. I'm in every way for that. And then some other people spoke, and it was a very to the point service. It was beautiful. And it was just beautiful to see all of these people supporting the family, but really, they loved my father deeply. And they all came up to us and just shared. My father loved his kids. He was always talking about his kids. But to see that in a space that's often thought of sadness, people were smiling and they were laughing and they were showing pictures. It changes the feeling. And being with the family that day and eating good food and laughing and feeling really, I could not stop smiling. I remember laying my head on the pillow with a huge smile because it felt so good. It felt so good that me and my sisters came together and my mom just had to walk in. It felt so good that the family came out. It felt so good that there's all these great stories. It felt so good that we're here to celebrate. This is what it is. This is a celebration. That was a celebration. And I celebrate that aspect that is now within me. So every time you see me on live, and I did take some time off because boy, going into yeah, my father is a beautiful soul. And I heard that often at the service, and people coming and dropping food and people checking up on us and people, all of that. They don't do that when you are a scoundrel. If you're a scoundrel, you may not have this outcome. I do. If you're a scoundrel, you may not have that outcome. But that wasn't the case. So I was smiling and I just felt so happy because, wow, look at all these people wow, that's me. That's me. And that inspiration, that reassurance, that beauty and what that means so much. And I remember feeling the afterglow of the send-off, the afterglow of like, wow, what an amazing time. The afterglow of like, yeah, that's a well-lived life. Hope, keep going, because that's a well-lived life. Thank you for the follow, Lisa. Thank you, Karen, for liking the live. That truly was a send-off, and I will repeat this. There's a difference, a funeral, and then there's a send-off. The send-off is, we had a great time, I'll see you later. We going to celebrate, we smiling, we drinking good, we laughing, tell a story. That's a send-off. It was so uplifting, it was so happy, there was so much love. That's what my father did. It was love. He brought people together. And in saying that, there's just a beautiful feeling of joy and happiness. And that privilege, I keep saying this is the privilege of the send-off. I see the privilege that I have. It's a beautiful privilege. The privilege of being loved. The privilege of being surrounded by love. the privilege of support, the privilege of family, the privilege of a legacy, the privilege of health, the privilege of beautiful times, of beauty, of just life. That's the privilege. And so often people get privilege mixed up with things that you may not even talk about once you're no longer here. But I felt that privilege of love. I felt that privilege of beauty. I'm so happy. And I'm sending you the privilege of love, Jessica Lopez. Because this is beautiful, to be able to be the child, to usher, to be there with your parent through every step of the process, and then to see the outpouring of love and support. Man, I'm reinvigorated. It's like I'm pushed to new heights. That's true privilege. I got love privilege. I got many privilege. And I'm more inspired to speak. And I know I haven't been on in like a week because it was leading up into the services and there was much going on. And I am love. You are love. I always say be love. But seeing that privilege of what real love from a well-lived life, from making mistakes but keep going, from aspiring to build something and you built it, regardless of what others said, regardless of what you said to yourself. Because sometimes the only thing that's preventing us from building is how we speak to us. And I feel unlimited and I feel inspired and full of joy and love because of this. And I'm making a longer YouTube video about this because I learn from everything and I allow everything to be that, yeah, for real. It was like, whoa, it was such a beautiful feeling, Karen. It was so beautiful. Even seeing the different levels, as I said, that is like what you want. Ideally, to have the people that love you there. Your beautiful wife, beautiful kids, your brother, your sister, your family. That, not like, I don't care what happens to them. No, that means something. That means something. And I'm inspired because it was such a beautiful feeling. It was such a beautiful feeling. I could not stop smiling that night. And now the baton has been handed off. I have to take my rightful space in this new space in life and understand that I'm always okay. And I do believe that. I'm always okay. What's up, Blessed Tone? Not only am I always okay, as I said, the love that was felt is just a piece of what my father gave me and is still giving me. So I don't share that in a sense of sadness. I share that in a sense of, whoa, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Because I am invigorated and it just was so beautiful. It was so much in life isn't explained. And I always say, I like a feeling. It's not always, I like a feeling. I know something because I feel it. I know love because I feel it. I know this is right because I feel it. And I felt that in that day. And I felt that even when my mom had felt the emotions of not having her partner for 45 years, 46 years, no longer there. And understanding there's levels to this. Yes, I no longer have my father because I'm the child, and seeing now my mom no longer having her partner, how things are different. Because I toss men to the side all the time, but if I didn't, I can imagine how much of a change that is. And my oldest sister, who lives in Charlotte, was here with her 3 children, and her 2 boys. One is 21, 22. The other is, I think he's 18 or 19. And my mom said, I'm not ready to donate any of your father's clothes. Now, let me say, my father is an impeccable dresser. All of his clothes are dry cleaned. He was a military man, always had a starched collar, the finest cashmere coats and blazers and sports coats and pocket squares and cufflinks, hats. He dressed. And when my 2 nephews came, I said, y'all, first we went thrift shopping. Here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing. We went thrift shopping because side note, the adults are cool, but I want to be with the kids. During this whole time, I want to be with my nieces and nephews and the kids. I want to be with the adults. The adults is talking about stuff I don't want to about. I'm with the kids. What the kids doing? What the kids watching on TikTok? I'm trying to be with the kids, okay? So I was with the kids. What y'all want to do? Let's hit the streets. Let's go thrift shopping because, I love thrift shopping. I picked up this shirt, Legend of Zelda, because I used to play Zelda when I was a kid, 80s kid. So I went with my niece and my 2 nephews to the thrift store. I said, this is my favorite thrift store. And that's where we connect because we love thrift shopping. So we all got some things, and then we came back to my parents' house, and I opened one closet and said, look in here. Because once you put something on, my mom will probably say, okay, let me show you more things. Thank you, Karen. So the 2 boys, one of the boys looks just like my dad when he was younger. And I gave him an Italian wool, full-length, double-breasted coat. And my mom came out of her room and she said, that looks beautiful on you. And I knew that would be the opening of the door, because then she said, okay, let me bring some stuff out. And so we brought out top hats. And then I brought out some shirts because my father loved like a aloha shirt, a silk shirt, buttoned down. I mean, both of my parents dressed, but my father really dressed well. And then I would go into my mom's room and she would have more piles of stuff. And I saw how it was almost therapeutic because the kids, they loved it. What's up, Moni Love? You could go thrift shopping and you got granddaddy drip. That's why I say you got granddaddy drip. Okay. Thank you for sharing the live, Moni Love. God's property. GP, are you with me? So then I saw my mom go and grab all of his watches. And I said, yeah, that granddaddy drip, because my dad is fly, And not only is he fly, he was the flyest, shined his shoes, all that, got tons of shoes, custom made. So my nephews they just start going crazy because all the stuff was nice. And I saw there was a bit of something happening with my mom, because she said they love this. And that makes me feel good. It makes me feel good because they love the clothes. And I only want to give stuff to people that love it. And one of my nephews, who's 21, he said, oh, for Pa Ben, for my grandfather, I'm going to have its own section of the closet, its own drawer. I said, man. And when my mom brought out his watches, I said, "Are you sure you want to do that, Mom? You sure you want to show all the watches?" She pulled out a few. She said, "Go ahead and show them the watches." They went crazy. They said, "Oh, yeah. Oh, look at this. Yeah, I get to sport my granddaddy's watch." So they got dripped out. Thank you. I appreciate that, Moni Love. And I saw the beauty in it because, like me, I love to dress. Every time you see me, I'm showing up for life. I don't dress for others. I was telling my nieces and nephews about this, and they're 20. So you're dumb at 20, and you're not dumb because you're dumb. It's just that you're really still in childhood, and there's less autonomy. It's not like you've been in the world as a solitary person and you believe you're an adult, but life is just starting to happen. And they were sharing with me, people don't like my outfit, and I tried to tell them this is cool. And I was like, wait a minute, why are you trying to convince someone to like your outfit? Don't you like it? They said, yeah, but people don't get it. Okay, that's the lack of self-esteem. That is you. If I like it, everything I'm wearing, I like. What you think about my outfit, my hair, my makeup, how I talk, means nothing to me. That comes from inside. I'm not convincing you to like me. I'm not convincing you to like my clothes. I'm not convincing you of anything because I've convinced myself. And that's why I learned from my parents, specifically my father. If you do not like you, there's a high chance that you will want to convince others to like you. And I like me. I respect me. I listen to me. I've done great things in life. I've learned from my mistakes. They're never mistakes, they're lessons. And I've learned. However, I'm not convincing someone to like me, let alone what I'm wearing. And the difference in that is, well, time and confidence. And my father would always speak about this. Confidence is everything in life. Everything. The confidence that I had when I cut my hair off is because I want to, and I like it. Not will they like it. It's me. Anything outside of Hope liking it is a bonus. But these threads that you getting from Granddaddy Drip, this was collected and some of it was custom made, and you got the watch and the top coat and the matching scarf and then the smoking jacket. I mean, I took one of my dad's watches too. I think that's a big thing, the watch. Because I've always liked men's watches. However, the understanding of, if you're convincing others to like you, you're convincing yourself to like you. And if that's the case, just work on liking you. Don't convince yourself. Learn to like what you have. Learn to love you. Learn to be you. Learn to understand that what you have is enough. And it always has been. Learn to see the beauty in what you are. Learn to be you in what that is. Learn that not everyone's going to like you. Accept that. Accept that most people won't. I've said this many times. Most people don't like themselves. They don't even believe in themselves. So why would they believe or like you? And that's not all people, but we're all, I believe, on a journey back to ourselves, to journey back to our true essence. And this is outside of gender, color, creed, nationality, any of that. This is that unseen thing that is universal and ageless and timeless and beyond what anything can measure. And once you grasp onto that and understand the beauty that's you, life can be a little bit easier, just because I don't need to convince anyone to like me, because I like me. I love me. I respect me. I listen to me. I trust me. I am greatness. Every single one of us is, in our own unique way. But until you know that, until you believe that, that is where you will chase others' validation. You will chase their validation for something in school. You will chase their validation for finance, for money, for how you dress, for who you choose to love, any of that. That's not what it's about. It's about the beauty that's you. And I've learned that in this space with my father. And I thank you for the roses, Karen. I'm inspired by that because seeing my nephews put on these clothes like, wow, look at this. Oh, this is fresh. Okay. It's like, yeah, you got to pass things on. This is what I learned from my father. Life is a lot of just information and information being passed on. Sometimes it clicks then, sometimes it clicks later, but it's the fact that there's an open dialogue. And I'm never here to criticize you. I'm here to listen. I'm not in a space of that. I had to learn that with my nephew at the time because I said, these kids, they're 20. I don't like when people do this. That's okay. So what? Well, they shouldn't. Okay, but they do. So what? But I'm at the other end. How people show up in the world is how they show up. I choose to be a source of compassion and love and just observe a human being. That's it. And for my travels and living the entire world, I've spent more time all over the world than I have where I was born. That everything is perspective. As soon as you change location, change language, change a different factor, it will change. And I can observe and say, okay. So Granddaddy Drip, my nephews took some beautiful clothes. I'm going to go in and see some sweaters and jackets I'll probably get tailored to me. And just the beauty. There's a beauty in that next step. So I'm not always in the space of tears from my father's death. At 76 years old, he lived a fabulous, full life. There's a moment of really that acceptance, and I spoke about this here. It is on my YouTube at Hope is Speaking under my TikTok lives where I accept that. I do live that like I'm going to die. The same reason why I speak. If I didn't, I probably would still be flying. But I take these risks because there will be that end. And I want it to be full. I want that Sendoff like I saw with my father. There's so many things aspirationally that I aspire for because of my father. And that is another goal because that was amazing. A Sendoff like that was amazing. Thank you, Marley Marl. Seeing that Sendoff, and I'm changing the word from funeral to send. That was a send-off. Some of y'all go to funerals. That was a send-off. That was a send-off. With smile and laughter and joy and just support and people saying he loved his kids. He loved it. This is how I say it. Yeah. I'll say it like that. Marley Marl. I'm doing my best. And there were so many moments. I wrote down a lot of moments during that day. The day kind of went quickly because I was the daughter of. There was a lot of times where I was, come over here, family over here, come over here. But seeing like my childhood friends and their parents at the service, that brought such a huge smile because they all knew the love of my dad, and my parents would have like go to my friend's parents' home for the holidays and seeing that and how that brought people together. And I sat at the table with them and ate some food. Well, I haven't really been eating, but saying all of these beautiful stories and seeing all of my beautiful sisters and my family and these people that my father has spoken about, and seeing them there with high regard. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Karen. Go get your rest. Beauty rest, girl. I know it's like 9:30. You gotta go to sleep. So there's so much to shine in life for. There's so much in our lives that is unexplainable, and sometimes we don't even see it. And it is that beauty of life. So I am here to remind you of that. I'm here to show you I am doing however I'm doing in the moment, and I feel really inspired. And I will continue to show up. And it's just been a beautiful time. It's been a beautiful time. It's a bit quieter since all of the proceedings have completed, because for a lot of that it was just like planning and getting everything ready for services. But now it's quiet. So now other things, other feelings set in. And I do feel inspired. I feel it all, and I'm just inspired with the feeling of it all. Yeah, completely. It does feel like a complete reset. And in doing that, I changed my number. Like, I do a bunch of stuff when I reset, and it is a physical reset. And I just see so much beauty in that. I see so much beauty in a well-lived life that's full of love, and people are there to see you out and feel you and truly show up for you. And this is a part of my TikTok family. Thank you for showing up for me. It's just shy of a year of me going live daily. And it was the next step for me. Last year, we also had the accomplishment of my TED Talk. There were all sorts of things. So there's so much beauty. There's so much beauty. And I'm inspired, and I will continue to be inspired and continue to be a beacon of hope, because that's my name. And even my father and my mother putting those names: hope, faith, charity. There was a reason. There was something they wanted in this world. And I'm happy to expand and continue to share. And continuing to make content and more content on YouTube. I took about a week and a half off because of all of the services surrounding my father, and I'm slowly getting back to it. So mission accomplished. It was great. It was just everything. Yeah. I'm happy to be the legacy. So the legacy of the privilege of the Sendoff is there's a privilege. We all have privileges. We all have privileges. And the privilege of a well-lived life is what I saw. The privilege of a well-lived life is what I aspire to build. Privilege. So that is just my short message for today. I had to get back on here. I said, it's Monday. I'm going to go talk. I'm going to go talk. And I, as I said, am inspired and will continue to share and uplift through the way I do it, because I did not uh, think about what I was going to say prior to my father's service. It wasn't about me being a speaker. It was about being the daughter, the child of, and just letting whatever wanting to come out of my mouth go. So I did not plan or write anything. However, I remember asking my father, what is your legacy for us? What is your legacy for your children? And he had said, my legacy is and has always been my children doing exactly what they want, how they want, where they want, in their own way. I believe that was it. And I said, well, then I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And I thought about saying that afterwards, once my head was on the pillow, like I could have said that. I'm proud of this legacy because I'm living it. But it wasn't about that. And just knowing that that's what my father wants for me. Not like you have to do X, Y, and Z. That's it. Be the beacon of hope. Be that. And I am. And I'll make it look good. Okay? I'll make it look good. So that is my short live today. I'm just so inspired. And I really wanted to come on today. Usually the message is a bit longer, but I just wanted to come on today and speak a little about this experience and all of the developments. Like I'm here in California. I will be here for an extended, I'm here in support of my mom and to aid in any way I can be. And even that beauty of having that support system, I see how helpful that is with family. Thank you, Maureen. Thank you. So in that, I'll close this message in the beauty of a well-lived life is sharing love. I truly believe sharing love. And love can be a meal, love can be shelter, love can be a memory, love can be a joke, love can be compassion, love can be patience. And the beauty of a well-lived life is love, because it always returns. And I'm going to write that down because that's great. Um, oh, yeah. So, that is it. I don't know. Did y'all miss me? I will. Were you checking on me like, where's Hope? She hasn't talked. Because being present is big. And, I love to be present. So it's very present during this whole time. Because, just because. So I am speaking. Hope is speaking. And Hope is inspired. And hope is here. Love is here. Everything is here. Everything is there for you when you allow it. Thank you, Valentine. Thank you. Yeah, I am love. I receive that. Thank you. Yeah, plus, I saw this with my father. He was very patient. Nothing comes from being impatient. It doesn't bring anything positive. And I've lived a very full life. So even an act of judgment, I've seen a lot. I've been in a lot, and I've seen life through several lenses. So it's not a space of judgment ever. I allow people to show up, and that's what it is. So this is lovely. I love you all. As always, I close with be the reflection of love because we all come from an infinite source of love. Show up. I showed up. All you got to do is show up. But if you don't show up, it can't happen. And know that whatever you put out is returning. Hopefully it's love. However, whatever you put out will return. And I saw that. So I'm in a spirit of beauty and excellence, and I will continue to stay here. So I will see you tomorrow. This will be uploaded onto YouTube. Go subscribe to my YouTube page with other content. All of my TikTok lives are there as well. And continue to be hopeful because I am. And I will, love is a boomerang. It is. Love is an echo because I believe we are love. However, it comes to you like a speaker in waves that get louder and louder. So I'll see you tomorrow. Be hopeful. Bye-bye.